Dr. Earl Lautenschlager was minister at St. John's for 3 years after retiring as principal of Emmanuel College in 1970. His wife, Elizabeth, described our congregation in a letter published in the 125th anniversary edition of George Allen's historical series called Chapters. She said that St. John's was an active charge away from the hustle and bustle. I have found both of these things to be true today, especially the word active. Three things jumped out at me during the first service that I had the privilege of leading at St. John's. One was the tangible and pervasive presence of children and youth at St. John's. The image I came away with and often used to describe it was there were children and youth hanging from the rafters. The second thing that jumped out at me was the presence of the natural world through newly hatched little newborn chicks cheeping away throughout the entire service. I remember being so aware of them that I consciously made space for lots of human silence within the prayers of the people so that we could hear the voices of newborn life filling it. Nature as teacher and companion was affirmed for me that day as an important aspect of God's call in my ministry. And the third, but by no means last, thing that jumped out at me was the extraordinary health and exuberance of the music life in this congregation. It was evident through the leadership of the praise team on that first Sunday of my ministry here, and it is certainly very evident as part of our online ministry through Bob and the choir during this pandemic. If I were to write a history of St. John's, I would certainly point out the vitality that happened when Bob Brewer became the minister of music here. Under Bob's wonderful, musically gifted, and very pastoral leadership, the music of this congregation through both the St. John's Choir as well as the praise team has blossomed and grown, even during this pandemic. In fact, both groups have begun to help one another be the best that they can be. Praise team musicians have participated in several hymns and anthems sung by the choir, and members of the choir have joyfully helped out with the singing of some of the praise team songs. Puppets have become a regular part of it. Our choral anthem, Bound for Greater Things, at the end of this service is a wonderful example of this joyous joining together of praise team and choir. It is very clear to me that one of the reasons we have continued to work so hard to provide online worship via YouTube is to continue to nurture as well as challenge our choir and our praise team. When you don't use it, you lose it. And wow, have these folks ever stepped up to the challenge of using their musical gifts to the best of their ability during these difficult times. The other thing that has happened during this pandemic is that some of our young people have shone very brightly, and I hope to include more bright lights. Abby Haydner has added tremendous depth to many of our anthems with her wonderful flute playing, and Crystal Jang joined with her grandfather Sam Langman and members of the praise team to create memorable field location music video productions. They are developing skills together from which I am sure we will be benefiting greatly in the years to come. On this anniversary Sunday, I know you will join me in giving thanks for the ongoing active life of St. John's United Church, and look forward with me to the day when we will be able to worship together in body and voice, as well as spirit. May that day come soon. Amen.